Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Joel. I'm now a nurse graduate from Imperial Valley College. I'm currently working in the ER as an RN. And for today's video, it's going to be what was the hardest part of nursing school. Now, I know everybody's going to have different opinions on this and different conceptions about it. However, for me, I do have like 5 that were like the hardest part. Number 1 was getting started with anything I had to do regarding nursing school. Whether it was going to class, where it was to study, where it was to go back to studying after my break, always getting started was a little bit of an issue that I wasn't disciplined on before nursing school. Like before nursing school, with my prerequisites or with high school, we just like do everything the week of or the night before and everything will be fine. Now after getting those type of accomplishments and rewards, of like getting a good grade, or finishing everything you had to do, even like the day before the due date, your mind gets into a mode that like it's okay to do it because it's working, right? But if you were be constantly failing your exams or your assignments, then you would try to change faster your habits because obviously they're not working. So that was the only bad thing, that before nursing school, like everything was doing fine, everything was doing great. But then once in nursing school, like it hit you like, well, you really can't do it the week before or the night of. So yeah, getting started overall has been like really difficult, and the only way to make it better was to ideally just like either almost fail an exam or fail an exam so that can like prepare your mind into like, if we continue with this habit, this is going to be, our result is going to be the same one. So I had that fear of like failing or actually failing promoted me to like change my habits faster. Because in my first semester, like my first exam I did okay, the second one I failed it because of 1 point, and then the third one I did fail it pretty bad. So on that one, that's when I really like started changing my gears into studying like 25 minutes and the 5-minute break, and then pumping it up to 30 minutes and then 5-minute break, and then all the way to 50 minutes and the 10-minute break. So like that's how I would be studying. So like 50 minutes, 10-minute break, 50 minutes, 10-minute break, and just having it as a constant habit in order to build it upon your studying tools, and then just make it a normal studying routine. So yeah, getting started was definitely one of the biggest and the hardest parts of nursing school. The second one is like select all the apply, regarding that in your tests you have multiple choice, fear response maybe, or select all the apply, because since the NCLEX, which is kind of like your boards exam, there is more select all the apply than before because they changed the versions. So I was one of the few of the last group that were able to select like the regular version, which did have select all the apply but not as heavy. And now this new version is making it all select all the apply, almost everything select all the apply. So having your test select all the apply, it's very difficult because all of them seem to be right, but which one's more right, and then which one would you select out of those? So it's like it's like all or none. It's either you get all of them right, or if you miss one, or you put one more in advance, or you put one more than what you need to, everything's wrong. So it has to be perfect. So getting used to that is always going to be difficult. I don't really feel like anybody's truly prepared for like all the apply. It's more like chance, so kind of like eliminating the ones that you know for sure not it, and then the ones that are like arguably, then I'll leave those on standby, and the other ones which are like for sure, then I would like mark them. And then it's kind of like tossing a coin sometimes, because you're like, I can see why it could be it, but then I also see why it wouldn't be it. So yeah, that's really, really hard. The third one will be like studying and understanding at the same time, because one thing is like you're studying. Either if you're a textbook kind of person, then you're going to read everything and you probably didn't even understand it, so you're going to have to reread it like 3 more times for you to get like a better idea. So with me, it was more like of watching a lot of YouTube videos, doing a lot of practice questions, and then for some reason it wouldn't really click. I would either talk to a friend in the class and see if they get it, to a professor, and then that's when I would like open up the book, because like it's still going to be the same information, but usually the book for me is like the last resort. I really like to ask other people because their perception of it can just make it simpler. So with your group, we kind of like tend to tutor each other sometimes. So sometimes you might find like a really difficult topic that for another classmate it would be like super simple. So helping each other out, if you get along with them, it can really go a long way. The fourth one will be like the change in syllabus, and this is the one of the hardest things because you already have like your week scheduled, or and then like things flip, and then they just tell you like be flexible, and like I mean your teachers, like, it's really not a big deal for them, you know. It's like they do this every semester and everything, so they really don't understand the big chaos that it's for us. So for us to rearrange everything, it's probably one of the hardest things because you already have everything planned, and then something out of your control just changes everything, and then now gonna have to try to regroup everything at the same time, also study, and at the same time like continue having your consistency while studying. So yeah, that's one of the worst. And the last one, enforcing ATI. And this one, I mean, like in our semesters, you know, you have your regular exams from your professor, and then you have like these random ATIs once in a while. But then some of them are really, really important. Like you really have to get like a level 2 in order for you to actually pass the class as well. So taking a lot of time out of your day from your regular studying and put it to ATI, like for me, ATI was like, it really wasn't worth it. Not even close to the NCLEX. I believe like everything in itself is like, it's like, no, I'm not a big fan of ATI, and everybody that I talked to, they really have never really said they use ATI as a studying tool for the NCLEX. They use like mostly UWorld, but like enforcing those exams onto the students, and they have to pretty much memorize like the whole booklet that comes with it that I have like down there, but it's like this thick, and with a lot of like kind of like summarizing all the chapters, and then it comes with like 4 or 5 practice questions. Then online you have like more practice questions that you can do, but it really doesn't help you for your class itself because it's so narrow and it's so specific that for the ATI test, like it's gonna help you. You're probably gonna get a level 2, level 3 because you're learning their style and their way of asking questions, and a lot of the practice questions like the A and B are similar to the actual test. Well, I don't want to say very similar because they don't get repeated, but it's kind of like the same concept. So if you really try and master that, you can kind of like get around the ways and do fairly well in your ATI, but it doesn't really help you in your overall class or your NCLEX. That's my personal unhumble opinion about it. So your class already loaded with exams, or it covers like a lot of things in just one exam, and it's mostly towards the midterm or the final where they do like the ATI. So when it really matters, that's when they say to throw it in, and you have to like divide your time and hopefully like pass both of them, because sometimes the ATI goes hand in hand with your final grade. So if you don't get the level 1, some professors make you retake it in order for you to get like a level 2. And if for some reason you don't get the level 2, then it depends on the discretion. But some of them, they're like, oh, you cannot go on because the level 2 technically says like you're like, if you were to get this category in the NCLEX, like the level 2 says like, oh yeah, you're gonna pass this category, like it's no problem. And level 1 is like, well, I don't know, bro, like maybe yes, maybe no. So not being like proficient about it can make you like withhold yourself, because like at the point of nursing school is like they try to teach you everything, so like you're more prepared for the NCLEX. So if that metric of ATI tells you that you're really not there yet, then technically you shouldn't be passing the semester because you're not fully there yet, which I find it to be like super not a good metric to use at all, because then when you start using the UWorld, that's when you really try and like learn more of like the NCLEX environment. So that's what I really feel is the metric. But for schools to use it as like a true metric in order for it to tell you whether you pass or fail the class and lets you predict how well you're gonna do on the NCLEX, like I really think it's like, no, it's not accurate at all. But that's just my opinion and what I've been told by my other people that I've talked to about them, because maybe I'm the only one who's wrong about it, but no. So yeah, so pretty much like most of my studying that I did for the NCLEX was just like all UWorld. I never opened ATI at all. Never really trusted it for any type of like prediction of my NCLEX. So yeah, those were like mainly the hardest things about nursing school for me. But I just want you to understand that this is just my personal, but maybe you do connect with a lot of these things that I already said. But also having in mind that everybody has been going through the same thing that you did regarding school. So all that anxiety, all that thoughts of like dropping out and trying something else, or you looking in Google to check like different majors, other majors, because you don't want to do nursing school. just know that we've all been there. We've all been in that category. And if you really don't feel like anything is retaining, then you can try like different YouTube videos or like subscriptions into like different. I know like Simple Nursing has like a subscription that like it teaches you with more visuals like fundamental pharmacology, med surg, and everything like that. So I know there's a lot of tools out there that really help. So don't really think that the slides or the professor are the only ways for you to succeed. And yeah, just do like study groups, and like each member can get like one specific chapter that they can try and explain or find practice questions. So you have like a group chat. One person can focus on like finding good practice questions on Quizlet or wherever about a specific topic, and the other ones can have like different tasks. But yeah, really try and do it with other people, because if you really try to do it alone, it's really gonna be hard. And if you're not really like a people person, if you really don't like to talk to people, you're gonna have to talk to people in the hospital. So might as well just practice with your classmates there that are gonna be with you for like 2-3 years. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So you guys haven't followed me on Instagram, please do so right here. Drop a like if you found this video useful. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you so much guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.